Before I tell you my story, I want you to understand something. Not every child grows up in the arms of love. Some of us grow up in the hands of people who smile in public, but break you in private. I was only 8 years old when my life changed forever, when I left my parents and walked into a house where I thought I would be loved, but instead, I learned what pain, loneliness, and survival truly mean. If you've ever trusted family, and they became the reason you cried yourself to sleep, then my story will speak to your soul. I wasn't an orphan, but I lived like one. And everything that happened in that house still lives inside me, even 20 years later. This is the story of how an 8-year-old girl survived a home she was never meant to suffer in. Many years ago, when I was growing up, I had to leave my homeland and move to a neighboring country where I was going to live with my father's sister, her husband, and their 4 adult daughters. I was only 8 years old, and the thought of starting a new life away from my parents was daunting. But I was excited to meet my new family and make new friends. The day I set foot in their house, I became the only one doing all the household chores. My auntie's husband was very kind to me, but I couldn't say the same about my auntie. She treated me badly, constantly comparing my life to what it had been back in my homeland. Every time I did something, she'd remind me of the hardships she said I had faced back home. "You fetched water from a river back home, and here you're using a tap," she'd say when I opened it. If I drank water from the fridge, she'd scold me, "Why are you drinking cold water? Back home you didn't even know what a fridge was, and now you're being picky." She said harsh words that hurt, and I often cried, missing my home and my family. I kept asking myself, why me? Every day I woke up early to sweep and mop before school, and still I was expected to peel green bananas for cooking, burn charcoal, and wash beer glasses in my auntie's husband's bar. "We don't want to ruin our nails and fingers," they'd say, as if I weren't human too, as if I didn't have nails of my own. Despite everything, I found comfort in school and reading. But the question lingered, why me? I spent 3 years in that country. I was a smart student, always coming second in the whole class, but at home I never received even a candy from my auntie. The youngest daughter even told me she was tired of hearing that I was always first or second, and she told me to be last in class one day so I could surprise them. That day I cried, remembering how a girl in my class who was always 10th or 12th had her family congratulate her and give her small gifts. My auntie was a teacher at the same school. One day she came into my class and flogged my legs harshly because I got 3 out of 5 in mathematics. I still hate mathematics to this day. During the 3 years I spent there, my auntie didn't even bother to buy me clothes. I wore old, too small clothes from my country, and my slippers were old and small. But one day, I was very proud of myself. My auntie's husband, who owned a bar, trusted me with his money, and would send me to the beer wholesaler to get 3 or 4 crates of beer. I would tell the men to carry the crates and follow me home. I washed the beer glasses and served the customers, who were good people from our neighborhood. They knew me and liked me so much that they would give me money to buy juice. In front of the old man, that money was treated like tips. As a 9-year-old girl struggling with clothes, I didn't buy biscuits or juice. I saved the money and I bought new slippers. I still remember them, they were small and blue. Another memory that stayed with me was a night when we were watching TV together. My auntie told me to fetch her scarf, which she had left on a chair in the kitchen, but the light there wasn't working, and I didn't have a torch. I took the scarf, but accidentally spilled her sauce. She flogged me so badly I felt like I would die. She left small scars on my arms. Her husband and daughters told her to stop. They even said that if she didn't want to live with me, she should let me go back to my country. From that day on, she told me not to come into the living room to watch TV again, saying I had spilled the sauce because I was rushing to watch a movie. I only entered the living room to clean. I ate outside or in another room alone, so I wouldn't watch TV. There was a day I swallowed many pills, trying to do something horrible that I can't describe here. Some of you know what I tried to do, but it failed because the pills were only paracetamol. They insulted me, beat me, and told me that if I wanted to die, I should go and die with my family. Another day, I said I had to leave that house and go back to my home country. I left, young and naive, thinking I could walk from one country to another. After maybe 4 hours, I felt tired, sleepy, hungry, and thirsty. I had no money, so I went back to my auntie's house. I was very ashamed. They asked where I had been, and as a child I told the truth. I had tried to go home but got tired and came back. That day the firstborn, who was in her 30s, flogged me, and believe me, she was the one who actually loved me the most. I took a shower, and went to sleep, sad and ashamed that I hadn't completed my journey. The next morning, no one spoke to me. I did my chores as usual. One day during the holidays, good news came. A boy knocked at our door saying my parents had sent a ticket for me to visit them in my country. He was the son of my mother's cousin, whose father drove public cars between the two countries. I was so happy, and thanked God. I left that country, and arrived home, happy but sad when I looked at the scars on my legs and arms. My siblings saw how miserable my life had been, and told me I didn't have to go back. After 2 weeks, when they urged me to return because school was starting, my siblings and I begged my father not to send me back. After a few days, he agreed, and I continued primary school in my own country. The old man, my auntie's husband, died in 2015. Unfortunately, I couldn't go because of security issues. In January 2023, my auntie died, and I went for her burial. May their souls rest in peace. From 2005, when I left that country, until today, it has been 20 years, but I still remember that life as if it were yesterday. It may sound to you that life wasn't that tough, but believe me, it was extremely difficult. Imagine how my auntie treated me knowing I had parents. Imagine what she would have done if I had none. Because of my past traumas, I'm scared to have children. I always wonder, what if something bad happens to me, and my children end up living with their aunts or uncles? I don't want to bring children into this world, and then leave them alone. If I have a child one day, I pray I won't leave them before they're old enough to take care of themselves. Please tell me, you who are hearing my story, what do you think when you imagine that you could die and leave your children? Do you trust your sister or brother enough to care for your child as their own? Please, always pray that you don't leave those innocent souls when they are still young. If you listened to my story until the end, thank you. My childhood wasn't easy, but speaking about it helps me heal, then maybe it helps someone else heal too. Tell me in the comments, would you trust your siblings or relatives with your children if life forced you to? And please, always pray that you never leave your babies before they are old enough to defend themselves in this world. Don't forget to subscribe, share this story with someone who needs it, and leave a comment. Your support means more than you know.